They said you wouldn't make it. They said you'd never be enough. They said you didn't have it in you. So now you have a choice. You can believe them, or you can prove them wrong. This is not just about revenge. This is not just about shutting people up. This is about showing the world and yourself that you are so much more than they ever gave you credit for. You were doubted, you were overlooked, you were underestimated, and maybe that hurt. Maybe that made you feel like giving up, like maybe they were right, but listen closely, they were wrong. Every single one of them. They didn't see your heart. They didn't see your grind. They didn't see what you were willing to go through to get what's yours. They saw where you were, not where you were headed. They saw your setbacks, not your comeback. They saw your now, but you've always seen your next, so prove them wrong. Prove them wrong when you get up early and put in the work. Prove them wrong when you turn pain into power. Prove them wrong when you build something they said you couldn't even dream of. You don't have to talk back. You don't need to argue. You don't need to post about it or scream at the world. Your results will speak. Your consistency will speak. Your future will scream what your voice doesn't have to. Every time they said, you can't, they gave you a gift, because now you have something to prove, not from hate, not from anger, but from a place of purpose, a place of fire. You're not chasing approval, you're building evidence. Evidence that you're the real deal. Evidence that you're not the type to fold. Evidence that you don't quit just because it's hard. You don't just have something to prove to them, you have something to prove to yourself. You owe it to the kid inside you who dreamed big. You owe it to the version of you who started with nothing. You owe it to every moment you felt invisible, so prove them wrong. Build the business, create the life, own your worth. Turn your name into something they have to respect. Let them watch. Let them whisper, let them doubt. You're not here to get their validation. You're here to break their expectations. And if they laughed at you, let them, because when the work is done, they won't be laughing. They'll be watching in silence. Watching you rise, watching you shine, watching you succeed in places they said you'd never reach. This is your time. You've struggled, you've failed, you've fallen, but you're still here, still standing, still pushing, still focused, and that's why you'll win. Nobody sees the hours you put in, the sacrifices you made, the nights you couldn't sleep, because you were chasing something bigger than yourself. But they'll see the outcome, and when they do, let it be undeniable. Let your growth speak. Let your peace speak. Let your power speak. Let your future speak so loudly that it drowns out every voice that ever tried to count you out. Because you know what they didn't know. They didn't know how bad you wanted it. They didn't know how hard you were willing to fight. They didn't know you don't break, you build. They didn't know that when things get harder, you get hungrier. So when they said, you won't make it, you said, watch me. When they said, you don't belong here, you said, then I'll make my own place. When they said, you'll never last, you said, I'm just getting started. Prove them wrong every single day you choose discipline. Every single time you say no to distraction. Every time you walk alone rather than follow the crowd. There will be people who leave, people who doubt, people who try to tear you down. Let them. They are not your problem. They are your motivation. The truth is, some people don't want you to win, not because you can't, but because you can. And if you do, it will expose what they didn't have the guts to go after. So keep going, and don't do it for revenge. Do it for growth. Do it for peace. Do it for legacy. Let them wonder how you did it. Let them wonder how you kept showing up when it was painful. How you smiled through the pressure. How you carried dreams no one else could see. Let them wonder. While you win, your silence will be louder than their noise. Your progress will be louder than their opinions. Your success will be louder than every insult they ever threw your way. You don't need to match their energy. You just need to keep moving. Don't stop. Don't settle. Don't shrink. You are on a mission. And that mission is simple. prove them wrong, not just with what you earn, but with who you become. Let them see the growth. Let them see the grace. Let them see the greatness. And when they realize they were wrong about you, don't even say a word. Just keep shining, because that's how legends move. You don't need revenge. You need results. You don't need attention. You need execution. So work, grind, level up, and stay focused, because at the end of the day, the greatest clapback is becoming everything they said you'd never be. Say it with your chest. I will prove them wrong, not someday, not maybe, but starting right now. They said you weren't ready, that you weren't strong enough, that people like you don't make it, but they forgot something. They don't get to decide. They don't decide who you become. They don't decide how far you go. They don't write your story, you do, and you've barely started writing your best chapters. You see, people will project their fears onto you. They'll speak from their limits. They'll tell you what they couldn't do, and act like that's your truth. Too, but you're not them. You're not here to play small. You're here to break through. Every time they said, that's impossible, you saw opportunity. Every time they rolled their eyes, you locked in harder. Every time they counted you out, you silently counted the reasons you would rise. They don't know what's inside you. They don't know the fire. They don't know the pressure you've survived just to stand where you're standing. They don't know the nights you cried in silence and still showed up the next day. They don't know how many times you kept going even when everything told you to quit. But that's okay. Let them talk. Let them guess. Your results will be the only answer they'll ever need. So keep going, even if they laugh, even if they ignore you, even if no one claps for you right now. Keep going until they can't look away, and don't do it for them. Do it for the version of you that almost gave up. Do it for the version of you that's still fighting to believe. Do it for the future that's waiting on the other side of your courage. Let the doubt fuel you. Let the disrespect motivate you. Let the silence push you. You are not here to fit in. You are here to stand out. You are here to defy expectations, to do what hasn't been done, to prove that you were always capable, even if they couldn't. See it? You don't need validation, you need vision. You don't need followers, you need focus. They can keep watching. You'll keep building, let them sleep on you. You'll work while they rest. You'll grind while they joke. You'll evolve while they stay the same. And when the time comes, they'll ask how you did it. And you'll say, I refuse to listen. When they told me to quit, understand this, people will always have opinions. But opinions don't build empires. Opinions don't create legacies. Opinions don't feed your future. Work does. Faith does. Grit does. And you've got all three. You were built for this. No matter what they said, no matter how much they doubted, you were made to overcome. You were made to rise, to win, to last. Some people won't believe in you until it's too late. Until your name is in rooms they can't enter. Until your story is in mouths that once mocked you. Until your life becomes proof that hustle, heart, and hunger always win in the end. And they'll ask, how did you become this version of you? And you'll say, by refusing to let them define me, by working when it hurt, by showing up when it was dark, by proving myself right and proving them wrong. Listen, if they didn't clap for you at the bottom, they don't get to cheer for you at the top. If they didn't support your growth, they don't get to celebrate your glow. You are not doing this for applause. You are doing this because you refuse to stay small. Let them call it arrogance. Let them call it obsession. Let them call it unrealistic. Let them talk while you build reality. Let them doubt while you build destiny. Let them run their mouths while you run your race. You don't need revenge. Your win is the revenge. And when it hits, it's going to shake everything, not because you're lucky, but because you were relentless. Say it out loud. I'm not here to prove anything to people who never believed in me. I'm here to prove everything to the part of me that always did. The people who doubted you, they'll forget they ever did. The people who counted you out, they'll pretend they always had your back. And when they do, smile, Because now they're watching the story they didn't think you could write. You don't need them to understand. You just need to finish what you started. You've come too far. You've sacrificed too much. You've suffered too long. To give in now. This is your rise. This is your chapter. This is the part where it all starts to shift. Stay locked in. Stay hungry. Stay grounded. And whatever you do, never ever stop. Because the best way to prove them wrong is to become undeniable. So keep going. Keep growing. Keep showing up. And in the end, when the dust settles, let your life say everything they refused to believe. Let your life say, I told you so. They said you wouldn't last. They thought you were just a phase, just another person with a dream and no discipline, just another one who would break under the pressure. But what they didn't know was that you were different. You're not here for hype. You're not here for claps. You're here for results. You're not chasing validation. You're becoming proof. You are the evidence that a heart on fire can't be stopped. They said, it's not realistic. They said, that dream is too big. They said, you should be more practical. But here's the truth. They were never qualified to speak on your future. They didn't know your potential. They didn't feel your passion. They didn't live your pain. They don't get to shape your limits because they've never lived your story. Let this be the year they eat their words. Let this be the season you rise so hard, so fast, so high. They can't help but watch. In silence, not out of support, but out of shock, because deep down they never expected you to make it. But you expected this all along. You've been building in silence, stacking wins, turning pain into purpose, turning doubt into drive. Every insult, fuel, every setback, training. They thought they were hurting you, but they were helping. You become unbreakable. You don't have to scream. You don't have to shout. You just have to show up relentlessly. Let your growth speak for you. Let your mindset silence the noise. Let your discipline drown out every lie they ever believed. You've already won half the battle just by refusing to quit. Because quitting, that's what they expected. That's what they were counting on. They didn't think you'd keep going. They didn't think you'd double down. They didn't think you'd come back stronger every single time you got knocked down, but you did, and you will, because this is deeper than revenge. This is personal, this is spiritual, this is soul-level fire. You're not just trying to win, you're refusing to be forgotten. You're refusing to leave this world without becoming everything you were meant to be. And yeah, some days hurt. Some days feel heavy, some days you'll want to stop. But hear this, you didn't come this far just to come this far. You didn't sacrifice this much just to blend in. You didn't suffer through storms just to lay down now. You came to take it all the way. You came to become undeniable. And the best part, you don't have to explain anything to anyone. You don't have to justify your grind. You don't owe them an explanation for your obsession. Let them call it crazy. Let them call it extreme. You know what it is? Necessary. Because excellence doesn't come cheap. Victory doesn't come soft. Success doesn't show up unless you demand it over and over again. So stay focused. Stay locked in. Stay disciplined even when no one is watching. That's how you win. Not by proving them wrong once, but by becoming someone who never needed their approval in the first place. You are the standard now. You are the evidence that struggle builds strength. That pressure builds champions. That silence builds monsters. So be that monster, be that warrior, be that storm they never saw coming. And when they ask you, how did you do it? You say, I believed in me when nobody else did. I bet on myself when nobody else would. And I never stopped showing up. That's it. That's the formula. Show up when it's hard. Show up when you're tired. Show up when the voices say stop. Because success doesn't hear excuses. It only responds to action. Let the critics talk. Let the doubters mock. Let the world sleep. While they do that, you keep building. Because when your time comes, and it They won't be able to deny what you've become. Say it again and again. I am the evidence. I am the proof. I am the storm they said would never come. They tried to write you off. They tried to box you in. They tried to keep you average, but you broke the box. You broke the mold. You broke free. And now there's no stopping you. You're not rising for applause. You're rising because something inside you refuses to die. And that's rare. That's special. That's power. So when you feel tired, when you feel like quitting, when you wonder if it's even worth it anymore, remember, they expected you to stop. So make it hurt, make it count, make it undeniable. Let this be your legacy. The one who refused to be counted out, the one who went all in, the one who proved them all wrong.